welcome to Sega Nostalgia. I'm your host, Ryan Black, and I'm joined by my co-host, Jacob Rush, and we do what Nintendo don't. So, Jacob, how have you been this week?
Oh my gosh, man, I've been doing great. I've been playing my Genesis like it is nobody's business, sonicking it up. Oh, how about yourself, man?
Oh, man, I have been playing my Sonic Adventure on my Dreamcast. It's awesome.
Oh, that Dreamcast, I tell you what, dude, to be honest, the Dreamcast, it is so revolutionary. I mean, it looks far and beyond anything else that Nintendo and that stupid Sony company is putting out. Like, I don't think anyone is even up to this level. Like, I am just so impressed with how the Dreamcast is. Like, I don't have one yet because they're kind of expensive, but I mean, what are your thoughts on it? How are you feeling about it?
I'm sad that it didn't do as well out of the gate as it should have. It really is an amazing system. Like, it's ahead of its time. Yeah, it's pricey, but you're paying for the future. And I don't understand why more people don't pick it up, because there's some great games on there.
Right. I mean, that's why. I mean, it's so revolutionary. People just can't put the money down for it right now. So, but believe me, this thing is going to be a home run success. Beyond better than anything Nintendo don't put out.
So what do you think, like, the future of Sega 3D games is going to be now that Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2 are out? What do you think is going to happen? Do you think they're going to be bringing back some old classic 2D Sonic, or are they going to just stick with the 3D stuff?
I think 3D is the way to go. I think 2D's in the past. I don't think people care much more to play a side scroller like that. I mean, you just look at the music that they put into Sonic. I mean, that's just so revolutionary. I've never heard like rock music like that in a game before. I mean, Nintendo can't seem to do that. You know, you listen to the music Nintendo puts in their games, it just sounds just kind of like fake, you know, kind of computerized. And
Sega lives and learns.
Absolutely. You said it best, man. So, no, I think I really like the way the Sonic games look. They blow my mind. I mean, they absolutely blow my mind. If you are a real gamer, you're going to jump on these Sonic games and the Dreamcast and just jump on the hype train now before they're too hard to get. You don't want to be the last one in.
Sonic and Sega have big players in the console wars, so it's good. I think this is going to stick around, even though it's not off to a great start. I think it's going to stick around with the little piece that you put in your controller, and you can like take your games on the go. Like, that's just revolutionary. That's
come on, like that's going to outbeat like your stupid Game Boy. I mean, what, we got our Game Boy pockets and colors like that. It doesn't even compare. Like, this is like I'm taking my home console on the go almost. It's awesome. I am thrilled to be living in this day and age where gaming has gotten to this level. Never would have dreamed it. Very cool.
So, I think we should get into talking about a good old classic, the Sega Genesis system.
Yes. Oh, I love it. I've been playing it all the time, dude. I cannot put it down.
So tell me, what are your first memories with the Genesis?
Well,
what are your Genesis memories?
Well, it's to be honest, I don't. None of my friends really had a Genesis. Everyone's kind of on the Super Nintendo train, and I don't understand why. But my first experience with it was actually at the old dentist office. I went to this. Okay, when we went to the dentist, there was like the little kid dentist, and there was like the big kid dentist, and it was across the hall. My older brothers would go to the one across the hall. My dentist had like games there that you could play, but it was like Pac-Man and Frogger, like the arcade. Mm-hmm. But you go over when I had to go wait on my brothers, they had like the Segas set up. They didn't have any Nintendos, nothing like that. They just had the Segas, and you could play Sonic. So that was really my first introduction to it. I would go over there and just game the whole time while they were in the dentist's office. It was the best, and sold me on a Sega instantly. So that's really my first experience with the system and really the company in general.
All right. My first experiences with that console, It's actually all friends. Like I have 3 sets of friends that I would play the Genesis with. First real experience was probably playing there was a demo station in a Sears, and I was playing on this demo station, and they had a couple of games to choose from. I distinctly remember Toe Jam and Earl, Green Dog, and what was the other one? Oh, it escapes my memory right now. It may have been Vector Man. I don't know, but goodness,
dude,
they were so good. Like,
I know what you're talking about. Those games, those are all classics. Will be classics.
My second experience was going over to a friend's house that was like really far away, and they had the Genesis hooked up to their big TV. And
smart.
We were playing Sonic Spinball, and I just absolutely fell in love with it. I love pinball games. Like, they are. I can't avoid them in arcades, and like to have like Sonic matched up with pinball was just amazing. And like there's actually level progression and bosses, and it captured the spirit of a Sonic game, and that was so cool. Like that was my first experiences with that. And then my next experience was going over to another friend's house at my parents' like business. They had an apartment upstairs that was rented out to people, and I would go up to their apartment and play their Genesis. And I remember they were playing like Beavis and Butthead and like silly games like that.
Yeah.
Like just not stuff I probably should have been playing with, but it was, it was a thing.
Oh yeah.
And then I think my biggest time that I got, the actual hands-on time I got with Sega the most, was just hanging out with my friend John Hester, and his mom would babysit us. And we would just play like crazy. Like we just play all hours, like watching Dragon Ball Z and playing the Genesis all the time. Like Adventures of Batman and Robin was a huge one that we'd play together. And we got so far. We finally got to the final boss, and like that, getting past just the cat, the Mad Hatter's like Cheshire Cat was the hardest thing. Like it was like a screen wide boss, like unheard of for the time.
Oh man, you're absolutely, all those games are great. But you know what? Was I really loved about the Sega? I love that it was just so much like, it was so hardcore. Like it was like when you come from like a Nintendo, because we had Nintendos when we first started out, and it's just kind of like we're ready to grow up, be more mature. And Sonic definitely is like a great growing up from Mario. Like he puts that Italian plumber to shame. You run circles around him, but like the Genesis has like all the Mortal Kombat games. Like I know Nintendo has some, but like, dude, if you want the best experience, the best sound, the best graphics, it's the Sega. Like it's far more superior.
I was big into Mortal Kombat 2, and I tried playing it for the Super Nintendo, and it was horrible. I couldn't stand the controls. Like I needed my Genesis controller. Yeah. It just
doesn't feel right.
It was not. No, it wasn't right at all.
No, Mortal Kombat, that's like definitely a staple. It got me into the movies. Big on Mortal Kombat.
Again, an edgier system. I really enjoyed the Castlevania entry on the Genesis. Yeah. Like the Bloodlines. Oh, that was so good. Like climbing up that leaning tower and the collapsing tower, and so good.
One game I really enjoyed on it too, I'd say, is I really enjoyed Radical Rex. It's the best game I've ever played on it. I loved it. My buddy had it for a Super Nintendo, Traven, but I was like, Traven, this isn't a Sega though. Like it's not better than the Sega version. So like, I mean, I've seen them come side by side, and if you look on the internet, it'll even have better ratings than that. But you know what game's hard, and it came out for Nintendo too. Like everyone always wants to compare Nintendo to Sega, but again, that is very difficult and hard to play. It's the Aladdin game.
Oh, that was so good.
Yeah, if you want the kid version, go to the Super Nintendo. Come to the grown-up version on the Sega, because dude, it is by far the best version of the game.
Oh, that flying carpet ride. Oh gosh.
Don't remind me.
The lava.
Don't remind me.
The lava
is difficult. The lava, that's probably the hardest part of the game.
I think another like I said, like, they have these awesome like gritty tiles that you wouldn't ever find on a Nintendo system. Like I loved the Jurassic Park games. There's actually 3 of them. I only played 2 of them.
Okay.
But there was the original Jurassic Park, following the movie. It was pretty cool. But then they had like a Jurassic Park Lost World. It was kind of like a top down, like you like drove around in vehicles and you had like shot dinosaurs and stuff. It was very cool.
I know what you're talking about.
Now, did you ever get a chance to play Shaq Fu?
I don't even know what that is, to be honest. No.
Well, don't play it. But I did have, when I finally got my system, I did have an arcade stick, and I played Shaq Fu. And it was basically, Shaq was put into a video game as a fighter.
Oh my gosh.
And like they had these like crazy characters, like they had this cat lady, and they had this like mummy guy who was like the bad guy of everything, and like these really get crazy characters, and the combat system was terrible.
Was he a genie? Was Shaq
nostalgia.
A genie? Like he was in that Disney movie where he became a genie?
No. He wasn't. He wasn't a genie at all.
You remember that movie?
Oh yeah, I remember
Shaq
that.
the genie. I can't remember the name of it.
It was Kazam, I believe.
Kazam. That's it. I'm surprised he didn't go Kazam to knock out his enemies.
Well, that game was about as successful as that movie. So
yeah, sounds like it. Wow, I'm glad I didn't play that game.
No, we can't talk about Sega without talking about Sonic and Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, Sonic Spinball. Sonic and Knuckles will let you put your games on the Sonic and Knuckles game and add Knuckles to your old games like 2 and 3.
Yeah.
It's so amazing. Like nobody did that.
Revolutionary.
Nintendo couldn't do that. Like Sega had the one up on them. Like it was so cool.
Absolutely.
So, did you play any other games of note? Like anything that really just strikes out in your memory? Like,
I really like when we talk about. I think Sega's a really good game for fighting. Although I liked Mortal Kombat, a key game that I really, really like is Primal Rage. I thought it was very cool to actually like could be like a giant T-Rex or you could be like a giant gorilla and just bash each other in. Like I just thought it was so cool to be able to be that type of character. It reminded me a lot of Beast Wars because I really like Beast Wars, the cartoon, and I think Beast Wars is the best adaptation to Transformers because you're no longer cars, you're actual animals, and they could transform and like be like they got like the metallic coatings on them that made them like an upgraded version of themselves. Yeah. So to me, that's always been my favorite version of the Transformers, and Primal Rage always reminded me of that. So I just felt like I was playing Beast Wars.
I got my most hands-on in the arcade for Primal Rage.
Okay.
I played a little less on Genesis, but I remember like my friend John Hester, he had all of the Primal Rage figures. They were so cool. Like I was so jealous of him, like so jealous. So, and I did want to cover like my favorite Genesis game, and I think it is probably, I don't know, like it took me by surprise because they have all these gritty games and these for adult games it seems like, but then you have this dolphin, Echo the Dolphin, specifically Echo Tides of Time, the second entry in the series.
Yeah,
it was an adventure. It was an exploration game. It was oddly enough platform, even though you're like swimming around in the ocean. Like eventually, like you like start going through portals and going through like weird spaces and like weird gravities, and like gets really weird. Like you go into the future and there's like flying like dolphins and like giant whales, and like it gets really intense. And it's got such a great story, and it has a password system, so it's great to have that just to be able to continue your games. And I wax nostalgic for that Echo Tides of Time game. Like, even the ending, it's so bittersweet because like he like sacrifices himself, like he like sends him back, it gets lost in time again. Yeah. Like he could have ended it all and like he's just like, no, I'm gonna like just disappear. And it was like, where did he go? What's gonna happen next? Like I don't know if we ever found out. I mean, I think they're going to do another one, but it depends on how well the Dreamcast does, really. What do you think? Like, did you ever get a chance to have some hands-on with Echo the Dolphin or watch it?
I did a little bit. I saw more than I actually played because I never actually owned it. It was kind of hard to control for me. I really had a learning curve, and I just didn't have the patience for it. But from what I saw, I mean, it looked cool. Obviously, the graphics and sound is awesome, but it's I never had like too much experience with it, not like the way you have, obviously. So I can't say too much on the matter, but it's a game I'm happy that's on the Sega only, and I think it's good for Sega to have it.
So one game I do want to recommend you go back and play. It was really the only hands-on I had it, but this is Marvel, so it's right up your alley.
Yeah.
The X-Men 2 Clone Wars.
Oh yeah,
really good game. Like you could be Nightcrawler. That was my favorite thing. You could actually like do the BAMF thing and pop up somewhere else and take out enemies. Like that was cool. We never actually beat it, me and John Hester, because we were like in the what do they call it? The Savage Lands, or what was it called?
Yeah, I think Savage Lands.
That was the level. It was like timed, and it was really, really hard to get through. So we never actually beat that game, but we loved it so much, like because it had that 2-player co-op like story. It was so good. Well, I think that about wraps up today's episode. I'm thinking about starting up a good what is it? What do they call it these days? I think it's a podcast. Is that right?
Yeah. So you can talk about things that you like, and people can follow and chime in.
So I'm so glad that we got to spend this time together. I hope to do some more episodes in the future because we love Sega. Well, not like that Nintendo.
No. I mean, I think if anything, because you got Sony out, and Sony's more hardcore too than Nintendo, and like the graphics and the sounds on that are better too. I really think the future is Sega versus Sony, and I'm only a Sega. I'm a Sega fanboy. I'll only buy Sega. I'm not going to buy any system. I can't play another system. At least I can't own one. I feel like I'm like cheating on my girlfriend or something if I'm playing another system. So
we don't play those kiddie games.
No. And I think if anything's to say, Sega has set themselves up for years of just revolutionary gaming with the Dreamcast now, and like we said, taking your system on the go. It's revolutionary, and only Sega could think of this.
Yeah,
only Sega could think of this. So I'm excited, man. I'm really excited. Close to having the money for a Dreamcast. Very close.
Sega Master Race.
That's right, Sega Master Race.
Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed our podcast. We will see you next week, or when we do the next podcast. Leave them waiting.
Yes.
Later, guys.
See ya.